What is industrial ventilation?
Ventilation is the mechanical system in a building that brings in fresh outdoor air and removes the contaminated indoor air.
Purpose of ventilation: provide a continuous supply of fresh outside air. Maintain temperature and humidity at comfortable levels. Reduce potential fire or explosion hazards. Remove or dilute airborne contaminant. What are the type of ventilation? Ventilation system are natural ventilation, dilution or cross ventilation, roof stack ventilation. Mechanical ventilation for building, induced draft, forced draft, combined draft, roof ventilation for contamination control, local exhaust, forced ventilation, emergency ventilation. Briefly discuss on heat stress. Heat stress is a serious health risk for workers exposed to high temperatures and humidity. It occurs when the body's temperature regulation fails and body temperature rises to critical levels. It is a medical emergency that can lead to death. Controls of heat stress: drink plenty of water. Avoid exposure of heat. Break in exposure time and more rest intervals. Cotton and protective clothing. Adverse effect of heat stress: dehydration, exhaustion, stroke, cramps and fatigue. Decreased efficiency, pain and discomfort. Skin disorders and tendency to cause accident. Causes of heat stress: radiant heat, example ovens, furnaces. Stagnant heat, example textile mills. Exposure of sun heat. Lack of airflow and humidity. Briefly discuss on cold stress. When working outdoors in cold weather or working in artificially cold environments, such as refrigerated areas, serious cold-related injuries and illnesses may occur. Cold-related hazards can cause permanent tissue damage or even death. Controls of cold stress. Wear appropriate clothing. Make sure to protect the ears, face, hands and feet in extremely cold weather. Boots should be waterproof and insulated. Move into warm locations during work breaks. Limit the amount of time outside on extremely cold days. Avoid touching cold metal surfaces with bare skin. Hypothermia: it occurs when body heat is lost from being in a cold environment faster than it can be replaced. Mild hypothermia 98 to 90 degrees Fahrenheit, moderate hypothermia 90 to 86 degrees Fahrenheit, severe hypothermia 86 to 78 degrees Fahrenheit. It will occurs blue skin. Causes of cold stress: refrigeration in warehouse or storage area, low temperatures, high winds, and wet conditions. Briefly discuss on illumination. Illumination means lighting or light. Adequate, rational or good illumination needs sufficient quantity of illumination necessary for avoiding discomfort to the worker and undue strain on eye. The quantity or intensity of illumination is given by luminous flux. For public spaces with dark surroundings, lux is 20. For simple orientation for short temporary visits, lux is 50. For working spaces where visual tasks are only occasionally performed, lux is 100. For performance of visual tasks of high contrast or large scale, lux is 200. For performance of visual tasks of medium contrast or small size, lux is 500. List out the advantages of good lighting. A reduced risk of occupational accidents and health problems. Better concentration and accuracy in work. A brighter, cleaner workplace resulting in a more active, cheerful environment. Improved work performance. Better visibility, improved accuracy and increased work speed, enhancing production. List out the general principles or requirements of good lighting. Adequate illumination. avoidance of glare, avoidance of shadow, uniform lighting, appropriate contrast, appropriate color contrast, color effect, avoidance of flicker and stroboscopic effect. Explain sources and adverse effect of noise. Adverse effect of noise is sleep disturbance, effect on immune system, annoyance, ischemic heart disease, hearing impairment, hypertension, birth effects. Source of noise are mechanical forces, aerodynamic forces, electrical forces. Explain different methods for ventilation measurement. Dry bulb temperature method, wet bulb temperature method, mean radiant temperature method. What are the benefits of good housekeeping? Key benefits of good housekeeping: reduced handling to ease the flow of materials, fewer tripping and slipping accidents in clutter-free and spill-free work areas, decreased fire, lower worker exposures to hazardous substances, example, dusts, vapors, more efficient equipment cleanup and maintenance, better hygienic conditions leading to improved health, better control of tools and materials, including inventory and supplies. Tried the use of color coding in industries. Significant advantage and usage of color coding: easy identification, visual communication, avoid potential hazards and accidents, reduce operational errors, enhances the safety aspects. What are the most important factors of plant layout as far as safety aspects are concerned? Ensure safety within on-site, occupied safety. Control access of unauthorized person. Facilitate access of emergency services. Prevent, limit and mitigate escalation of adjacent events, dominoes. Briefly discuss on National Building Code. The National Building Code of India is a comprehensive building code to providing guidelines for regulating the building construction activities across the country. The National Building Code is a set of guidelines for the design, construction, and maintenance of buildings in a particular country. It establishes standards for safety, health, and environmental protection in buildings and outlines the responsibilities of building owners, developers, contractors, and government agencies. The NBC is typically updated and revised every few years to reflect advances in building technology and changing societal needs. The exact requirements and guidelines specified in a given country's NBC will vary depending on local regulations, climate, and other factors. List out the factors for severity of electricity. Amount of current passes to body. The length of time the body remains in the circuit. The current's frequency. The current's path through the body. What are the hazards of electrical energy? Shock, electrical burn, electrical fire, electrification, death due to shock. Write 2 causes of hand tool injuries. Improper usage of hand tools, hidden damaged parts, mushroom surface, improper posture. Explain any 4 defects in chain sling. For defective chain slings, where defective welds, cracks, breaks, stretch, bends, discoloration due to excessive heat, corrosion, throat opening of hooks. List out the scaffold components. Ledger, toe board, tracker, footlog, standards, diagonal brace, locking pin, end frame, working platform. Write any 5 precautions in general machine shop. Don't operate machinery when the instructor is not in the workshop. When working with another worker, only one should operate machine or switches. Don't rest against the machine. Concentrate on the work and don't talk unnecessary while operating machine. Don't talk to others when they are operating a machine. Get first aid immediately for any injury. List out the potential light stroke injuries. Eye injury, lung damage, heart damage, superficial burns, eardrum rupture, broken bones and dislocations, skull fractures and cervical spine injuries, coronoparalysis, a temporary paralysis. How is evaluation of noise done? Sound pressure level SPL measured in decibels dB. Frequency spectrum analysis to measure the distribution of sound energy across different frequencies. Noise reduction coefficient NRC to measure the effectiveness of soundproofing materials. According to OSHA standards, more than 85 decibels called as noise. List out the tool failure causes. Prevention of economic loss to tool users, tool manufacturers. Steelmakers' safety issues, i.e., the need to ensure operating safety, labor safety, environmental safety, compliance with quality assurance requirements. Name different types of scaffolds. Supported scaffold, suspended scaffold, aerial scaffold, rolling scaffold, mobile scaffold, foot-long scaffold, birdcage scaffold, cantilever scaffold. Define the term ergonomics. Ergonomics is essentially fitting the workplace to the worker and with the design of safe systems of work. The better the fit, the higher the level of safety and worker efficiency. Ergonomics is the process of designing or arranging workplaces, products and systems so that they fit the people who use them. It aims to design equipment, devices, and workspaces that fit the capabilities and limitations of the human body. What is an acoustic material? Give example. It is a material designed to control, direct and manipulate sound waves as these might occur in gases, liquids, and solids. Types of acoustic material are as follow: sound absorbers, sound diffusers, noise barriers, sound reflectors. Write short notes on Travel Restraint System. A travel restraint system lets a worker travel just far enough to reach the edge, but not far enough to fall over. The basic travel restraint system consists of full body harness, lanyard, lifeline, rope grab to attach harness or lanyard to lifeline, adequate anchorage capable of supporting a static load of 2 kN to 450 pounds, with a recommended safety factor of at least 2, that is, 4 kN or 900 pounds.